you got quiet quickly. Thank you. Yeah, it was a selfie. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Thank you for coming out. One of the gems we have here in Rock Island is Schwiebert Park. Most of you have probably attended events in the park or walked the path along the beautiful riverfront. Well, I have the pleasure this morning of introducing the man that park is named after, former Mayor Mark Schwiebert. A native of the Quad Cities, Mr. Schwiebert graduated from Rock Island High School in 1968 and from Augustana College in 1972. He went on to earn a law degree and a master's degree in history from Drake University. He has been an attorney in the Quad Cities since the mid-1970s, first with his father in practice in the firm of Schwiebert and Schwiebert, and currently with McCarthy, Callis, and Feeney PC with offices in downtown Rock Island. Mr. Schwiebert began his political career when he was elected to the Rock Island City Council in April of 1981. He served 3 terms as our 6th Ward Alderman until 1989 when he was elected mayor. Mark Schwiebert served a record 5 terms as mayor for a total of 20 years. Overall, he spent 28 years as an elected official for the city. He is the longest-serving mayor in Rock Island's history. Mr. Schwiebert has been involved in many civic activities over the years. One of those was the Quad Cities Conservation Alliance, in which he worked to acquire the site for the Botanical Center. Did you know that? He served as chair of the Rock Island Arsenal Task Force, created to preserve and expand jobs at the Arsenal, and as chair of the Bi-State Regional Commission. Since stepping down as mayor in 2009, he has served on multiple local boards such as Augustana College, the Figge Art Museum, Quad City Botanical Center, Quad Cities Community Foundation, and the Quad Cities Cultural Trust. In 2015, he established the Schwiebert Fund for Environmental Studies through the Quad Cities Community Foundation. The fund awards grants annually for projects aimed at educating the public about the problems caused by climate change, as well as innovating solutions to those problems. Mr. Schwiebert has received a number of awards over the years, including the Commander's Award for Public Service from the U.S. Army for his work as chair of the Arsenal Task Force, an honorary Doctorate of Humane Letters degree from Augustana College, the Excellence Award from Rotary, the Amador Award from Kiwanis, a River Action Eddy Award, and as already mentioned, the naming of Schwiebert Park in his honor in 2010. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome former Rock Island Mayor Mark Schwiebert.
With such a nice introduction, I feel I ought to do more than introduce the mayor today, but I'm going to restrain my remarks to that. Thank you, Sarah. That was very generous and probably more than needed to be said this morning. But it is great to be here this morning, and I was honored when Mayor Thoms asked me if I would be willing to introduce him for this annual State of the City speech. For those of you in the room who are history buffs, as many of you probably know that I am, it's interesting to note this will be the 35th annual State of the City speech that's been given here in Rock Island. It's a custom that's now been embraced by all the other of our great Quad Cities, as well as school districts and others, and it provides a wonderful opportunity for us to come together to recognize some of the achievements of the last year, to identify some of the challenges in the year to come, and to build a spirit of consensus and community about those issues that we care about as a community. Rock Island is a community of creativity, diversity, productivity, and prosperity, with a rich and fascinating history. Our current city leaders, beginning with our mayor, as well as members of our distinguished city council, our excellent city staff, headed by City Manager Todd Thompson, work together daily to build on this history for a better community for all of our citizens and businesses in the days to come. Mayor Thoms has been part of Rock Island's proud history for his entire life. A member of the Thoms family that relocated their business from Iowa to Illinois about 30 years ago. Make a note of that, it's a good idea. Mike has been elected mayor of Rock Island in April of 2017 and was re-elected to a 2nd term in 2021. As mentioned, he's been a lifelong resident of Rock Island. He and his lovely wife, Sarah, have been married for 43 years and have 3 grown children and several grandchildren. Although Sarah doesn't look old enough to have grandchildren, Mike does. Mike retired after 29 years at Thoms Pressler, a family-owned wholesale food services where he had several positions, especially in management. Before becoming mayor, he was president of Renaissance Rock Island, which is today a combination of DARI, the Development Association of Rock Island, and Rock Island Economic Growth. He's also been involved in many community boards and currently serves on the boards of Bi-State Regional Commission, Visit Quad Cities, Rock Island Arsenal Development Association, and the Quad Cities Chamber Regional Opportunities Council. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mayor Mike Thoms to deliver his State of the City speech on the theme of Forward Together.
Well, good morning, everyone. Several people said, how you feeling? You ready to knock this dead? And I said, well, I don't know, but I'm quite nervous. And I got to say that to show you how nervous I are, those that know me, I have a phone attached to my hip all the time, hardly without it. I left it in the car, if you can believe that. That's how I forgot it. And I guess the story to go with that is to show how connected I am. Walking one of our daughters down the aisle at her wedding, I wore my phone, and it rang as we were walking down the aisle. I answered it. But so I believe in answering, and I believe the city is the same way, of answering people's questions and meeting their needs. But thank you for that. So once again, hello and welcome to the 2024 State of the City Address. And thank you, Mark, for a wonderful introduction. I am, of course, Mayor of Rock Island, Mike Thoms. I'd like to thank everyone who took time to be with us today in person. But I want to thank D-Films, who is helping us live stream this event and record it on our YouTube page. I'd also like to thank Bally's Casino and Hotel for hosting us in this wonderful event. And once again, people know I like to go off script. I'd like to actually give a little commercial for Bally's. They're in the midst of a $35 million investment in this facility. If you get a chance at the end, you can go put a few dollars on some sports gaming that they just added right next door here. If you want, they're going to be renovating the rooms, and you can check those out later. And they're going to do a lot of other maintenance and everything else. But once again, investing in Rock Island, once again. So thank you very much, Travis, and for the investment there. And another, yes. And as always, I do a few shout outs, and I'm going to forget somebody, I'm sure. But D-Films, you talk about another investment. Phil Dingledine, Rock Island business for a long time, D-Films, decided he wanted to get closer to retirement, sold the business, but a Davenport business bought into Rock Island. Tag Communication purchased D-Films and is now located in their part of the business in Rock Island. So once again, we have investments coming across the river all the time, and I appreciate that very much. Thanks, Tag, Mike Vondren, and Phil Dingledine for helping out here today and his investment in the future. I'd also like to thank, and would be remiss, the Kiwanis Group and the Rotary Group. For many years, they hosted this event at the Botanical Center, and Ryan's here with the Botanical Center, and so we hate to lose it down there, but we felt it was time to open it up to larger public and move it to this venue. But thank you for Kiwanis and Rotary for the many years that they hosted this, and we won't forget you. Before I get started, I'd like to recognize a few elected officials here in the room. So hopefully not take too much time, but we'll start, I guess, Moline Mayor, Sangeetha Redpeddy. If you want to stand, you're more than welcome to, otherwise. East Moline Mayor, Reggie Freeman. Coe Valley Mayor, Mike Bartels. Rock Island Alderman, 5th Ward, Dylan Parker, someplace here. I saw Dylan, there he is. 6th Ward Alderman Mark Poulos, right down here in front. 7th Ward Alderman Bill Healy. 2nd Ward Randy Hurt. And a few of the others, council members, unfortunately could not make it. But we do have Scott County Board Supervisors, Ken Beck is here. Someplace, there we go. Thank you, Ken. Rock Island County Board Member Kai Swanson. I saw Kai, there he is over there. And this gentleman is not Representative Dan Swanson. And this person is not an elected official, but he plays a mayor in his role. And it's Colonel Dan Mitchell from the Rock Island Arsenal, the Garrison. Great partner to work with. I'd also like to recognize, and we'll get this through, but recognitions and get on to the details, but I would like the ones that are in the room, the city department directors to stand. These people offer a lot of leadership in the city. So I know there's Jerry, and there we are, there's a few of them. Thank you very much for your leadership. Very grateful for that. I'd also want to do a shout out to all the employees of the city of Rock Island. You know, we would think about it as when in the big snowstorms and everything else, and as public works and just plowing the streets, but all year long, the staff is dedicated to make sure that everybody is safe and has a good living place to live. And so they're very dedicated, and I've learned to get to know a lot of them. And I want to do a shout out to all the employees. They serve the city well, and thank you very much. And as I said, the city council, they volunteer a lot of their time, expertise, talent, and their time. But even that, I'm going to go even farther, and one more thank you is to their spouses. To give up that time for elected officials. It's amazing that it's sometimes a little more time than you plan on and think. And so thank you for that. And I suppose I would get in trouble if I didn't thank my wife, speaking of spouses. She's in the audience today, so I better make sure that I do that. And thank you, Sarah. Love you greatly, and my kids. Okay, so 2023 was a successful year for the city. Many projects were completed, major grants were awarded for new projects. A balanced budget was passed. The crime rate dropped dramatically. To strengthen the city's outlook, we added 2 new positions, an economic development director to focus on and enhance the city's growth, and in-house city attorney. Having legal counsel on the site in the city hall improves communication and access. This city has continued and added several successful partnerships. One being ongoing intergovernmental agreement with the Rock Island Arsenal for electrical maintenance, water filtration, wastewater treatment, and more. And we talk about more, there's radio maintenance, there's other things that we do and work together, garbage collection, so it goes on. But I do need to add a little bit here that it was kind of one of these cliches of win-win. The federal government saved money when we bid on this from their current contract, or their past contract. We, in turn, are making money and have income on this, so it helps our general fund. And so it's a great relationship that we've had for a number of years now and continue to grow and have more. And so, once again, that's where Colonel Mitchell and I have gotten to know each other and have worked well with the city of Rock Island. And so it is a plus for everyone. Saves taxpayer money. An agreement with the Quad City Chamber for placemaking services, creating the Rock Island Downtown Alliance that is supported by the SSA, the Special Service Area. That's new this year. We renewed our contract with DARI, the Development Association of Rock Island for Economic Development, and continued collaboration with Visit Quad Cities, the Friends of Douglas Park, the Friends of Hallberg Estate, and the newly formed Friends of Longview Park. Once again, continuing partnerships, working together. As we move forward together, and that's very important, forward together. That's the way to do it, is to be together. And we could move forward. The city is in a strong position of giving us the flexibility we need to improve services invest in our capital, and plan for the future. The Community and Economic Development Department had a very busy year, to say the least, right, Miles? Beginning with the annexation of 538 acres in southwest Rock Island. This was the largest expansion of the city in decades. Part of it's wet, but part of it, we believe, can be developed. So it's a very positive thing. As mentioned earlier, the position of the Economic Development Director, Tom Flaherty, that is in the room, great addition, was created to spur interest and development in the city. In 2023, the private sector invested more than $60 million in the city toward business expansion, new businesses. This includes the opening of 9 businesses and the expansion of 28 businesses. The partnership with DARI, the Development Association of Rock Island, the city held 20 grand openings, reopenings, and events, and awarded more than $295,000 in PEP grants and more than $278,000 in GRIT loans. These are new programs that we have to help incentivize businesses to grow. As a result, though, with that investment, there was more than $17 million invested in Rock Island. So it's a good return on the investment. Currently, at least 100 economic development projects are in progress. They might not all happen, but there's 100 in the hopper that we're working with different people in different aspects to see if we can grow. The second Homestead Program house, located on 32nd Street, was beautifully renovated and sold to a qualifying family. Last year, 37 owner-occupied housing rehabilitation projects were completed. And once again, you think about some of these homes you go into, and there's big needs. There's holes in the patios, there's roofs leaking, there's windows that are not airtight, et cetera. This allowed those families to make those renovations so they can live in a good environment, a safe environment, and so it's very important. The Inspections Division worked hard to keep Rock Island residents and businesses safe. They issued 3,200 building permits, conducted 2,417 building inspections, registered 1,990 rental properties, completed 1,443 rental inspections, issued 318 food and beverage licenses, and conducted 606 health inspections. So they were busy out there making sure that it's safe and healthy place to live and work. The Rock Island Downtown Alliance launched in 2022, supported by a new special service area called SSA. This joint effort between the private and public sectors will improve quality of life in downtown Rock Island. You may have seen a red utility vehicle, teams of people picking up trash downtown. Pictured here is DeAndre Robinson, Operation Manager for the Rock Island Downtown Alliance. And he's with us today if people wish to talk to him and see how it's going. And this is actually run by Jack Cullen. He works for the Chamber. This is a brand new alliance that we have started this year with the Chamber and for downtown Rock Island. So this is new for us. It is here to help us have a better quality of life in Rock Island, downtown. But most exciting of all is the city's plan to break ground on the $7.4 million Rebuild Downtown Rock Island streetscaping project. This spring, hopefully this spring, talk to Public Works, I don't know if it'll happen this spring, but it's close to it. Construction will include new water infrastructure, a gateway entrance facing Schreiber Park, a mini roundabout for improved traffic flow, wider sidewalks for pedestrian and cafe seating, new lighting, public art, and much more. Trying to get as much as we can for it. That's going to be going out to bid here shortly, going to make some great improvements. And then we have, of course, the alliance we have to help maintain that and continue to work with the businesses downtown, the building owners and business downtown, to make it a vibrant area. Public Works, never worked with them before. They're tired of me calling them, I think. The Public Works Department contributed to many big projects last year. Among them was 11th Street Water Main Replacement Project, reconstruction of 37th and 46th Street, completion of a new downtown parking lot, which holds 230 vehicles and has 4 electric car charging stations. Intersection improvement to the Rock Island Parkway and the 28th Street storm sewer upgrade between 18th and 19th Avenue. This past year, the Fleet Service Division completed 2,500 vehicle repairs and maintenance work. Most city vehicles have been replaced in the last 5 years, including 2 new fire engines, half-ton pickup trucks, 12 police detective vehicles, 8 new 6-ton snow trucks that were purchased. Unfortunately, we haven't got them all, but I know that our guys enjoyed being out there this last snowstorm and trying out some of the new equipment. Being put to good use. They will replace the aging fleet of plows from 2021, so over 20 years old. We made those things last. The department did a great job. Actually, there's a lot of other vehicles that got replaced, police cars, I think a year or 2 ago, along with CED's inspection vehicles. We've really worked hard at getting rid of some of the aged fleet to drop maintenance costs and in turn save money. Spring flooding was met head on through the installation and upkeep of 20 flood pumps and gate walls from April 4th to June 9th. I got to make a side note here also. Those pumps we're talking about are run on diesel, and they have to be watched 24/7 to make sure they're continuing to working. Once again, dedicated employees and service of those people keeping us safe from having any kind of breach. A tornado that swept through parks in part of Rock Island on April 4th left behind substantial amount of tree debris. The department tackled this challenging assignment and clearing the storm debris, which was compounded by a top 10 flooding event along the Mississippi. Despite the challenges, public works crews successfully completed the cleanup and all removal of the debris by the end of June. If anybody ever drove down by Sunset Marina after that was done, there was a huge pile of debris in a parking lot down there, large. It was no small task, that's for sure. Park and Recreation. Many improvements were made to Rock Island Park's facilities in 2023, and more are in the works for 2024, as we may have seen in the press. Lighting was completed at Douglas Park ball fields. With the help of $70,000 raised by the Friends of Douglas Park, in recent years, more than $2 million in private and public funds have been invested in that park. And of that $2 million, more of that, a majority of that, has been private dollars that the Friends of Douglas Park have raised. RIFAC, the Rock Island Fitness and Activity Center, is in the middle of a large remodeling project that includes the men's and women's locker rooms with new lockers, flooring, new steam room, sauna, and installation of new windows in the pool area. Once again, it's important to stay relative and up to date and safe. Dakeman Park had a complete makeover with installation of an ADA accessible sidewalks, new concrete basketball courts and hoops, and rehab of the picnic shelter and playground. A new 3,000 square foot clubhouse was built at Highland Springs Golf Course with First Tee classroom in mind. We also added an outdoor patio, ADA parking and pathways. I'm going to stop and say First Tee. Most people, I'm sure, know what it is, but it's to help kids that are not able to, and underprivileged kids, to be able to learn how to play golf, how to learn about the etiquette, build self-esteem. Once again, and keeping them off the street and busy. It's very important. But it's not just at Highland Springs. It's at the YMCA. It is in Bettendorf. It's in Davenport. It's throughout the Quad Cities. Once again, a very good collaborative organization to help the kids. And so we have built this classroom. Now we are set to be able to give the kids the quality learning they need. Renovations of the carriage house at Hallberg Estate were completed, including the new ADA restrooms, all new windows, doors, glass storefront with breezeway, and the bar and event space. Once again, I was just there. My wife and I were just there this last Friday. Just for people to know, they're open Friday nights to the public. There's a nice bar, event center there. They had music. It was a wonderful place to go. They got a little gift shop. If you're looking for something to do on a Friday evening, it's a wonderful place to go, not out late. An award on a nearly $1 million park grant will pay for construction of a new clubhouse at Saki Golf Course, replacing the one that's 95 years old. I guess we hang on to things for a while around here. We replaced the water filtration plant a few years ago, and that was 109 years old. The trucks are over 20 years old. We try to get our money's worth out of things, but looking forward to this beautiful new clubhouse up at Saki. 6 new tennis courts with pickleball striping were constructed at Lincoln Park that will serve as the home of Augustana College tennis teams, Allman High School tennis, and open to the entire community. This project was funded by Augustana, once again, partnering with people around us. Wonderful thing to do. Speaking of pickleball, 6 courts were constructed at Malcolm McKay Park with ARPA funds and the OSLID grant from the Illinois Department of Natural Resources. Fencing, seating, and parking areas were also installed. The fastest growing sport in America now has a home in Rock Island. Finance Department. Some people think, it's boring, right? Numbers, who cares? Very important, very important. The city's 2024 budget was approved using a portion of $7.8 million in surplus from 2022 to support a variety of expenses and projects such as increased police and fire pension costs, personnel costs, vehicle purchases, and balancing the budget. And I'm going to once again stop and take a second understanding what surplus is. We've always talked about and reserves. The city's policy is to have 90 days reserves on hand at any time of their expenses. This is monies, the surplus is monies above and beyond that. So there's a difference between reserve and surplus. And so we had this $7.8 million of surplus above and beyond the 90 days that we've taken in bank and saved for those projects that are maybe once-offs or the rainy days. And so we continue to be very careful on how we spend that, but we are spending some of that to look at the future and save other monies. City council members voted no to raise the city tax levy. The city ended 2023 with a surplus of $2.7 million, surplus. New financial software will be installed this year, improving service to citizens and businesses of Rock Island, providing more options for bill paying, providing financial information at a click of a button. Once again, we hang on to things for a long time. People know the technology gets old fairly quick. We're not up with dates. We want to be more mobile ready, easy and accessible for the public to be able to get information about the city or do business with the city. And now this, once again, will take some time to get installed, but it is a big, major step. For the 41st consecutive year, the city received the Government Finance Officers Association Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. That's a mouthload. But once again, doing a great job keeping us on the straight and narrow, making sure that we're reporting things accurately. Later this month, the city will begin an ambitious 5-year project replacing water meters in all the Rock Island properties. Once again, some people think, so? These things get old, they leak. Water usage, you don't have accurate use. You may be using more water than you should. So we need to replace them. Also, it's labor intense. We have to sometimes go inside homes to read meters. Sometimes we can look at the outside. These will be able to do remote, drive by, using Wi-Fi, etc. A lot more efficient, saving the city money. But here's another great savings, an opportunity. We'll be able to eventually do monthly billing instead of every 3 months. Once again, those with tough budgets and not sure what they're doing will know where they're at on a monthly basis versus quarterly. So that's a very positive thing. Through active recruitment, the police department, can't forget about them. Through active recruitment, the police department added 12 new officers to the force in 2023. 5 of those new recruits were female officers, bringing the total number of female officers on the force to 11, the highest number of female officers in the police history. Great to see that diversity. In 2023, the number of violent gun crime dropped 25%, and the number of seized firearms increased by 20%. One is great to see go down, the other is great to see to go up. Every year that I've talked to the police department, the police chief, about these issues, they always get nervous about saying this because it kind of like jinxes it and it goes the other direction. But we're confident that it's going to continue to work and go down. The City Council will supported the police department in implementation of an automated license plate reader system with cameras. This system is part of a network used by several law enforcement agencies in Rock Island and Scott County. Additional cameras were installed at intersections around the city. Once again, I'm going to deviate. Instead of saying working collaborative with other cities in areas around us. The bad guys, they don't know the difference in borders. They don't care. And so we need to make sure that we work well together in the community to make sure that we get them off the street. And believe me, this process with the automated license reader is great for that. This is actually nationwide, so when they, it works if there's somebody from other states and other parts of the country come in this direction, we're able to help catch the bad guys. And so it's a very important, great tool to have. The police department worked with the City of Rock Island, Milan School District to bring a school resource officer back to the high school starting in 2024 here. The police department continued its collaboration with the Davenport Police Department and Family Resources through 2023 in their efforts to bring group violence intervention to Rock Island. Thanks to a generous support of local foundations, funding has been secured to enter into a partnership with the National Network for Safer Communities to begin implementation of GVI in Rock Island. Once again, I'm going to continue to divert a little bit here, is that we've been working together with the Rock Island and Davenport Police Departments on this and learning about what this is. But this is taking the root of the problem and going down to the root, finding the root of the problem. And it's a lot of times, I'll say young kids, being 65, a lot of people are kids to me, but finding the young ones that are going down the wrong path. We know a lot of them, but how can we stop them from going down that wrong path? Can we talk to them and find some kind of mentor of whatever area it is to be able to get them going down the right path? Can we save that before it becomes a problem for them and or us? So this is what the group intervention, violence intervention is let's see if we can prevent it from happening versus solving it after the fact. By the way, the founders, or the funders for that were the John Deere Foundation and Quad City Community Foundation were the ones that helped us with the funding. The fire department, Chief is here, Bob's here someplace, but the fire department began 2023 with an appointment of a new fire chief. And you know, not only a new appointment, he's now an engaged fire chief. He just got engaged a few days ago. So, Bob Graff, congratulations. I think later this fall is the big day. So we'll be looking forward to that. I think we need about 100 and some odd invitations here. Under Chief Graff, fire department employees logged 7,043 training hours and continued participation in the mutual aid box alarm system for mutual aid, technical rescue, hazardous materials, and fire investigations. Once again, it's very busy and takes a lot of training to stay up top of the new technology and things we can do. The fire department had a very busy year with 7,834 calls of service. Of those calls, to break it down real quick, 174 were fires, 5,839 were emergency medical service calls, 770 service calls, and 1 tornado. Personnel also assisted in 120 child caregivers with car seat installation and education systems. And believe me, this is a very important part. It's been growing, but the number of medical service calls they make has been growing a lot. And I got to say that I'm going to use myself again. It hits home. My father was in need of this several times. Fell, couldn't get up, and needed help. And they were there, professionals, not to embarrass anybody, make them feel bad, but to assist them and make sure that they were safe. And so it's very important service that they offer. 2 new fire engines were purchased and will soon arrive. I think we had some with other logos on it. Might have had Moline on one of them for a while. And thank you once again, working together in the cities. Moline got some new fire engines, and we borrowed one of theirs. I think there was an Andalusia one. We've had several, but purchasing our own, as we know, lead time on some of these things takes a while. But I think we've got one of the 2 in, but continue to work on with that. In November, firefighter Brandon Kennedy received the Firefighter of the Year award from the Knights of Columbus and the Community Caring Conference. Job well done, sir. Thank you for your professionalism. Rock Island Public Library. 2023 was proclaimed the Year of the Library in recognition of the 150th anniversary of the Rock Island Public Library, which was the first public library to open in the state of Illinois. How about that? First library in the 150 years ago. That's a long time. We also celebrated the 120th anniversary of the downtown branch on 19th Street. Once again, we hang on to things. 120 years that building's been a library. Throughout the year, community members participated in historical programs and events, contributed to a time capsule, and signed a commemorative banner. The city opened its 3rd location, the Watts Midtown branch on 30th Street, by celebrating with a ribbon tying ceremony. I said that correct, tying, not ribbon cutting, but a ribbon tying ceremony in February. More than 700 visitors came to on opening day of March 11th. They shared facility. This shares the facility with Two Rivers YMCA. It's one of only a handful of libraries YMCA combo processes. So that's why it was a tying. We were tying the YMCA and the library together and sharing a facility, saving resources, and making it more useful, user-friendly for people using those types of facilities. You can work out, your child could be over reading a book, vice versa. There's daycare. It just offers a number of services, and so it's a great combination. I'll do a quick shout out. It was renovated by Valley Construction, so thank you, Rock Island Business. Thank you, Mr. Haas. In 2023, the library partnered with more than 55 local and regional organizations to bring free programs and events to the community, totaling nearly 60,000 attendees in person and online. In 2023, the 3 library locations and the mobile library had more than 120,000 visitors. The Fine Free of 23 initiative led to a 13% increase in registered cardholders. More than 100,000 electronic items were circulated or streamed. More than 1 million services were used last year, ranging from Facebook visits, photocopies, wireless sessions, YouTube views, and more. And finally, the library saw a 30% increase in summer reading minutes. Great to see that, that's for sure. And you know, when I first became mayor, I went and visited the library, spent some time there. And once again, old guy thinking libraries are books. They check it out, or they read there, or the newspaper. Not so anymore. So many other services there. We loan out sewing machines and hot spots and pots and pans and all that whatever you think about, they help offer. With the mobile van, they could take a hot spot and make it mobile into a neighborhood that needs help. And so that serves all ages in the Rock Island. Communications, relatively new as far as a big focus for City of Rock Island. Communications have improved in the city. We are bridging the gap between city government, residents and business owners, and visitors by actively promoting the news happening in Rock Island and keeping the public informed on critical issues. Rock Island holds its own unique event called Rock Island Unplugged. Several times a year, we gather all elected officials and department heads in one space and invite the public to ask questions and make comments. And they are able to get direct answers right then and there in person. If we can't, we get back to them. The next Unplugged event will be announced soon. Real quick, Unplugged, town hall meeting, questions and answers going back and forth, being transparent, letting the public know what we're thinking, letting the public know what they're thinking. Two-way street. The council's committed to listening and trying to react. To improve engagement in a new tool called See-Click Fix was implemented a few months ago. Anyone with a concern can easily communicate non-emergency issues for relevant staff to see and respond to in a timely manner. The link is on the city's website. For more information, on See-Click Fix. Flyers have been placed on your tables. Once again, it's a mobile app. You can use it on your desktop too, but it's a mobile app where you have apps. And if you see a pothole that you want fixed, you can take a picture of it and submit it. You see a street light that's out that you need fixed. You can take a picture of it, click it, give some description. If you see other issues. So you see it, you click it, and we'll fix it. But you register on this, your email and everything else, so then we get back to you. Whether it be the Public Works, whether it be some other department, we'll get back to you and respond. If we haven't got it fixed yet, we're working on it, or it's all fixed, or let us know if there's some other issue. But once again, reaching out to the community for them to have a way to communicate with us and try to resolve issues. Social media is another communication tool we use to connect with public. In 2023, the city's Facebook page picked up more than 2,500 new followers. Social media is actively used to promote events, keep the public informed of city programs, and share information about important issues or alerts. Another key area for Rock Island is the Martin Luther King Center. The King Center continues to inspire greatness in the Quad Cities through community building, education, and service. This year, it began working towards building wealth, power, and livability for Rock Island's West End community through the newly launched West End Revitalization Project. There would be more on this to come, and I guess, and more is not going to be too far away. They're going to be reporting to City Council their finding on this phase 2. They've got people, the citizens in that area, have formed 5 different committees and are working at developing a plan to make this a reality. And so they're working very hard at it. By the way, this was funded by John Deere Foundation, and the Quad City Community Foundation just did $300,000 to help keep it going and for personnel and everything else. So this is something they're committed to, and will take time. But we're working through it, working with it, with grassroots. It's not a consultant coming in telling us what to do. It's the people that live there helping us what to do and how to do it. And congratulations. The King Center served more than 2,000 youth in the after-schools and summer day camp program. In August, the MLK Center held another successful Family Fun Day. There was a parade, threw out a lot of candy. The Jazz Fest, drawing more than 3,000 people to this event, well attended. But they offered and gave people services. The services there were provided such as legal, tax preparation, parenting courses, forum, food pantries. They had access to all of that along with the fun. During the annual Thanksgiving Meals program, the center provided 6,300 plates of food. Once again, a lot of food. And a lot of volunteers to help make that happen. It doesn't happen overnight and doesn't happen easy. So thank you to those volunteers. In 2023, more than 500 families were engaged in family counseling. More than 600 children received a Christmas gift. So that's a quick recap of some of the things that happened in 2023 and looking forward to. And I got a few other comments, but one is, remember the things I talked about here and brought forth. I go back to the city, the directors and the employees. They have their normal projects and job descriptions that take care of. They have to collect garbage and leaf collection and fix water main breaks as far as public works. The finance department has to work on a budget all year, a good part of the year. Each department has, and their employees have a lot of things to do above and beyond what we're highlighting here. And that is not an easy task in a lot of times. Rock Island's progress continues in 2024 with major projects underway. To mention a few, the new $40+ million federal courthouse is being built on 320 18th Street for the Central District Division. By the way, on this one, it's taken a while. Federal government doesn't move quick. But this building is privately owned. And overall, it'll be worth $40 million. It's on the property tax rolls. It's locally owned. This is something new. It's locally owned, will pay property taxes, and bring a lot of good, high-paying jobs downtown Rock Island. The new $20 million YWCA is under construction on 5th Avenue and about ready to open in another month or two. Quite a big building, big improvement, more daycare. But that's coming in 2024. And of course, as we talked about, the $7.4 million Rebuild Downtown Rock Island Streetscaping project will break ground. I would love to continue to say this spring. Engineering always says it takes a little longer, but it will be happening this year. It will be started. Once again, it's not an overnight process, but it's going to start in 2024. Reality is going to be hitting. 6 new street projects are planned this year for a total investment of $11 million. At the MLK Center, a STEAM lab is under construction with a budget of $200,000 that will provide the community a chance to explore robotics and drones, 3D printing, laser cutting, electronics, and more. It will open this spring. And there is more to come, but if I told you what was coming, I wouldn't have anything to talk about next year. So we're going to save some of that, and we've got still some that are in the works, as I talked about. We're talking to a lot of people. So it's been fun. It's been great. There's always challenges. We have those out there. Everybody does. We keep working with them. And so in conclusion, the city is investing in the future and poised to head into 2024, strengthened by its community partnerships. And I repeat that, community partnerships. Partnerships are very important. We move forward together, and I can't emphasize that enough. Moving forward. We're going to move forward, not backwards, not staying the same. We're going to move forward, but we got to do it together with resiliency, inclusion, and collaboration. And once again, thank you very much for your time. So, Sarah, are they free to go then? Is there any other part of the program, Sarah? All right. Well, there you go. Be safe. They're talking about some slippery roads coming up, so please drive carefully, be cautious, and have fun.